Hi, my name is Jill Ciminillo, and welcome to my channel, Car du Jour. Thanks for stopping by, and if this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. Alright, so this week we are in the Ram TRX, and I'm going to flip the camera around. I want to walk you through some of the really cool details on this truck. As you probably already know, this is based on the Ram Rebel, but it's got a couple of special extra features that make this more off-roadable. So we're going to take a look at some of those things, but I also want to talk about how comfortable this truck is and some of the technical features, because there's a lot of good stuff on here and there's a couple of annoying things too. So let's flip the camera and take a look. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and power up the TRX. All right, so the first thing I'm going to point out is something you don't normally see on a pickup truck, and that is launch control. It'll help you get really fast 0 to 60 mile per hour times, and I might have tested it out, and maybe my time was 3.9 seconds, but you know, we're not going to talk about that. While I'm here, I may as well point out the fuel economy has not been great. When I was just tooling around the city, I was getting 4.7 miles per gallon. I took a 3-hour road trip and managed to bring it up to beyond that. I was at 10.4, but it's cold outside. I've been sitting in here with the heat on, and now I'm at 9.4 miles per gallon. So perhaps not so great if you are looking at this for fuel economy. One of my favorite features is going to be the adjustable pedals. And there are very few trucks these days that still have adjustable pedals, and the TRX is one of them. I actually think there's maybe like 5. But basically, you can move your seat back a little bit and then move the pedals out or back, which give you a better driving position. And as somebody on the petite side of things, I really appreciate that. Now, the screen on the TRX is going to be 12-inch screen, and for the most part, I really like how it looks and how it operates. This is a menu here that is configurable and static, so it won't go away, but you can change what's down here if you want. You just press the apps button and then you can select anything from here that maybe you would like to bring down and replace. One of the things I really like about this screen is that you can leave it in the very lovely 12-inch format, or you can choose to split it up and then select what you would like in the top quadrant and the lower quadrant. Something else I'd like to call attention to is the surround view camera. So here you go. You have a really good view of somebody pulling away from me behind me, but also a really good around view of the vehicle. It's very helpful for fine-tuning when you park or you are trying to get into a parking spot in a lot. And considering the fact that this is almost 20 feet long and 7 feet wide, it's very helpful. Because this vehicle is meant to go fast as well as go through the desert, you have some drive modes you can scroll through so that you have the best possible conditions. So as you scroll through, you see tow, snow, auto, custom, mud and sand, rock, Baja, sport, back to tow. So the vehicle we are driving this week is $91,000, and it does have a lot of available features, including these beautiful leather seats with the suede inserts. All right, I'm flipping the camera back around because I want to talk a minute about seating position and seat comfort. A lot of pickup trucks aren't actually terribly comfortable, but I found that with the suede inserts especially, the TRX has really good support and just enough cushion that this is comfortable on a long road trip. So I went from Chicago to Wisconsin and back and had a lot of seat time consistently and didn't feel uncomfortable, didn't get out of the car feeling stiff, and really think these seats do a great job of being comfortable. Also, because of those adjustable pedals that I mentioned earlier, my driving position is really good. And it's hard for somebody who's on the petite side of things to get a good driving position so that you don't feel like you're eating the steering wheel and that you have good visibility out of the entire vehicle. Yet, I think that the TRX does a really excellent job of catering to somebody who's my size as well as working well for somebody who's on the taller side of the spectrum. All right, so let's look at the back seats. All right, so I'm sitting in the center seat, and I will point out there's no bump back here. So you can probably fit 3 adults easily, and somebody's not going to be sitting with their knees to their chest in the middle seat. As far as seat comfort, this is not comfortable at all. It's literally sitting on cardboard. So this would be the kind of seat somebody would sit in going to a job site or running a quick errand, but not going to want to spend 3 hours in this seat. However, I will point out that once you move into one of the outboard seats, it gets a little bit more comfortable. There's, again, that same suede insert, the padding, the cushion. It makes that seat just a little bit more comfortable for a longer ride. So another thing I'd like to point out while I'm back here is that there are both heated and cooled seats for the outboard seating positions. And while you can't adjust your temperature back here, you can adjust the airflow as well as whether you have the air on or the air off. One more thing to note is that there are both USB-C and USB-A charge ports back here, as well as a regular plug. All right, before leaving the back seat, one final thing to look at is leg room. I should point out I'm about 5 feet tall, but there is about a foot between my knee and the back of this seat here. And this seat is in the far back position, and it's even reclined a little bit. So while maybe somebody who's 6'7" might not fit comfortably back here, your average male adult will. All right, now finally let's take a look at the exterior of the truck. The first thing you're probably going to notice is the fact that these are 35-inch tires. Then you've got your Bilstein shocks under here, again meant for going off-road in desert conditions. Something I will point out that I discovered when I tried to park in my garage is this does not have an adaptive air suspension. So what you see is what you get, and if you're trying to clear anything that is taller than about 6 feet 8 inches, you're not going to do it. As we move to the front of the vehicle, I will just do a quick point out that this is a 6.2 liter supercharged engine. So yep, that's a Hellcat engine. It delivers 702 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Another thing to note on the front is that you have these marker lights here that glow amber in the nighttime, and that is because the Ram TRX is about 80 inches wide. So legally, those markers have to be there. Another thing to notice on the exterior is this rear-mounted tire here. It is an available feature, and it is in addition to a second tire that is mounted underneath the truck. A lot of people ask why there would be 2 full-size spare tires, but if you've ever been off-roading, you know the flat potential is pretty high. I anticipate that if somebody's doing some serious off-roading, they'd probably add a couple of extra full-size spares back here. All right, one more quick walk around of the exterior. And a final look at the interior. All right, so to wrap this up, I'm going to tell you 5 things I liked and 5 things that I didn't like on the Ram TRX. So first up, wireless charging, really like that. Second, all of the storage spaces, including the double glove box. Third, has to be the large configurable 12-inch screen. 4, the inclusion of USB-A and USB-C ports to charge your phone and connect your devices. And 5, every day, all day, is going to be the Easter eggs. All right, so now for the 5 things that I don't like. 1 is going to be how Apple CarPlay appears on the screen. Second, and this is kind of a biggie, is the difficulty of navigating through the items on the touchscreen. Now, this is something an owner would get used to over time, but it's nothing that's intuitive to somebody who maybe has the vehicle for only a couple of days. What do I mean by that? First thing is the setting on the around view camera. I noticed that initially when I was putting it into reverse and then put it into drive, the camera would disappear, but I wanted it both ways. Well, there's a setting for that, and unless you are TFM, you might not realize that. You have to drill down into your settings, go into the camera, and set the delay button so that when you are in both forward and reverse gears, you'll see the camera pop up. That's not intuitive, and frankly, people on TikTok had to tell me about it. The third thing that I don't like is the fact that there's both adaptive cruise control and regular cruise control. I think the systems should work together, and there should be one button for cruise control in general. The final thing that I don't like about the TRX is going to be the fuel economy. I was averaging 4.7 miles per gallon in the city and only got up to about 10.4 miles per gallon on the highway. While somebody who buys this truck is probably not going to be looking at it for fuel economy, it's definitely something that you've got to know about. All right, so thank you for crawling around the Ram TRX with me. I hope I've showed you a few more details that maybe you haven't seen in other reviews. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch with me here on my city street in Chicago. So thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you back here on another day with the next Car du Jour.